And I kind of wanted to do it like a pros and cons, like a sort of, what does that look? Does that look better? I think that's better. That is coconut oil up there, guys. It's good stuff. But okay, so I had the most unusual experience. I like going to court stuff. Okay, you know that. That's like a pretty weird hobby. But how much courtroom demeanor is too much? If anybody's ever walked a boundary of like skirting a line of possibly getting in trouble, I am flabbergasted at how much lack of courtroom demeanor happened in Clatsop County at visiting Judge Amanda Benjamin's little case on Miss Emily Ranica. How does she like to say it? Renecki? That's hard. That's hard to say that. But that's how she likes to say it. But the internet says it a few different ways, depending on if you're Russian or Dutch or whatever. But yeah, so most generally, I wanted to ask if you guys think, okay, so say you have a fake case where the case never should have been brought, but a very important family wants the case to be brought for political reasons. And then the whole prosecutor's office knows that it shouldn't be happening because there's a lot of undue influence, nepotism, and conflict of interest being pushed around. And then say the whole office knows that this is happening. So then if they show up and start snickering and talking through the whole trial, does that undermine their credibility as prosecutors, or is it a good thing or a bad thing? I can't really decide. I view it as muffled dissent. That was the instinct I had. Is that they were frustrated with the lack of respectability in their little shindig. So therefore, talking and laughing and smirking. I saw like a lot of this type of body. I mean, this. There was a lot of this. I mean, this is like school kid level. I mean, it is an Astoria public school court case regarding a school superintendent and a school board gone mad on a power trip to try to ruin or bury, as Emily stated, a whistleblower. So I think deep down, okay, so I'll tell you this like awkward little interaction, which is I was leaving court. I saw this really nice officer I like, and he'd sat there very respectfully. And I said, "Oh, you get the award for best demeanor in the courtroom." And he's looking at me like, "What? You're giving awards?" And I was like, well, I'm trying to give you a compliment while dishing on your colleagues for being so rowdy in the courtroom. They were so noisy, it was hard to pay attention. And then he got very defensive of his fellows. And it wasn't really the police so bad. It was the prosecutor's office that were so boisterous. Hi, everyone. Live streaming's so fun, isn't it? We're talking about a whistleblower who's in jail in Clatsop County, Oregon, in a Warrenton, Oregon, near Astoria. The courthouse is in Astoria. The jail's across the little pond. We're having a tremendous, is this just like a professional troll? How do I make you guys go away? I think I can like block your chats. Shall I? How about I just, community moderation, what is that? How about I just turned chat off? No, I think that worked. Did that work? No, I don't know. Well, anyway, I don't know how to live stream well, so you guys can teach me. Do you want to teach me how to turn off your stupid chats? Show every message, including potential spam. I kind of like free speech, though, but not like the real freaks out there. Let's see. Show most messages with all messages. Here. I don't know. Did I turn off your messages? Chat filter. Show every message. Hide all chat messages. Chat hidden. But maybe it's still going. Can you tell me that? I don't know. No, I can't see. I don't know. Chat filter, none. Top messages. Anyway, so back to the point. I don't know if you're chatting or not. But So my theory was that the prosecutor's office, the reason why they cut up and came to the courtroom and acted like little boisterous children without their babysitter is because they knew the whole case was phony and fake. And it was their way of both keeping their job and muffling their own internal turmoil and what do you call that? Where you have like a cognitive dissonance where they're like, well, we have to keep our job and we have to keep working and then we have to support our colleague even when he's doing something unethical. So everybody's, and the thing that was a little bit surprising is that the woman they're going after has a background in firefighting. And she was like, yeah, I was trained with like Oregon State Trooper standards. And I'm like, oh no. And this is when their whole thin blue line started to unravel, where it was like, she's one of you guys. Like, she has her agenda for public safety and whatnot. And I don't know. It was, courtroom demeanor. It was really stressful, honestly. I felt so pukey. I had some corn chips after court, and now I'm having my tea with sugar, which is vanilla chai with 2 tea bags and like raw cane sugar. Yeah, but she's in jail for a Facebook post. They get mad when they do that in Iran and Russia, but they do it in Oregon too, guys. Like, I don't think I'm going to jail for this live stream, though. We could ask, should we like, no, if you emailed the DA and said, hey, by the way, do you think this meets your censorship guideline or whatever? Let's see. Oh yeah, there's this cool clipping feature. I don't really know much about live streaming, and that's how to get a link. Okay, so if I wanted to send a link to my friends, I could do that, but why would I? Who cares? Well, anyway, I think I said what I wanted to say. I'm really into these. I'm going to be sad when I run out of this amethyst colored sparkle rhinestone. Yeah, and then I was like, well, I have the courtroom administrator's email. I could just write her an email and get the whole prosecutor's office in trouble for acting unprofessional. And I'm like, if you're going to do a witch trial, you need to do it like you mean it, which they couldn't. They were like cracking up and snot. But the thing that really bugged me the most was it seemed not only are they being like just sheerly unprofessional, they're also coming off as if they have this mean personalized vendetta against this woman, like they really don't like her. And I feel like they were picking on her for personal reasons, like her like personal look or her way of speaking. One of her things she says is how to say. She'll go like, how to say. And it's this like thoughtful moment in which she doesn't know how to phrase her thought and she speaks out loud. She says, how to say. And it's like, I feel like there's so much, I don't know, I feel like it was a neurodiversity case. And it was an example of neurotypicals picking on a neurodiversity person. And basically the whole thing was like an ADA violation. And it was really nauseating to see it. But furthermore, it seems that the police were throwing the case away because they don't really believe in it very much. And probably part of why she only got one of the 2 charges, and it was overcharged anyway, and shouldn't have been prosecuted anyway. So then I was like thinking about how the police are observing a bare minimum to coordinate respect from the prosecutors in terms of like they're participating in the whistleblower prosecution that was initiated by the school board, which has the conflict of interest with the judge. And that's the way they're supposedly getting this like neutral third-party judge, Amanda Benjamin. Oh my gosh, her body language all day. It was like it was like a very like, I don't want to be here. She had some really interesting foundation on. I can say that. I mean, like matte, creamy, like maybe expensive. Like she had some really nice cream on her face, and her hair looked great. It was like curly, and she's such a pretty and petite woman. And I'm starting to think like, why is such a pretty woman a judge and like so beautiful? But you can never say that in public. But I mean, like, but she did not look happy. And she saw the prosecutors yakking, like over on the side, and she'd look over like, but then she's just like, oh, it's a fake case anyway. Like, she just was so exasperated. And I don't know. I think it was good that she took it to trial. I think it was, because even if she had like pled out, what would be the point of that? Is a little less spotlight on the bad behavior. So like, here's the dilemma I was thinking too, is if the rowdy kids from the prosecutor's office, and I do mean kids, like possibly in their 30s, showed up and acted respectful, would it have given undue reverence to a case which does not deserve reverence? And was there a lack of reverence kind of a just revenge on their boss for making them do this entirely stupid case? And I really do see it as their muffled dissent. I think they were speaking up the only way they could. So for me to just be like, okay, shut up and show some decorum while you do your phony case, is like so beyond ironic, because I completely disagree with the whole case, but everybody else, like me, I have to abide by decorum. And I was like writing everything they said down in the margins of my notes. If you want to like come and I'll like make you a photocopy if anybody wants them. And so I'm just like lip reading, hearing what they say, bits and pieces. So I'm basically got an audio in and an audio in, and I'm kind of Gemini in multiple planets and like kind of good at multitasking, but it was maddening to have them yakking, the court thing happening in this odd basement courtroom. It's like a weird kind of diagonal triangle. So we've got like the peanut gallery over here yakking, the judge trying to do her thing, and the jury over here. And it would be nice to find out from if there was any other objective. I didn't ask the journalist. We barely smiled. In good news with the homeless, I mean, I guess it's good news. CCA is going to take over this homeless camp that Seaside's struggling with down in, I think it's Avenue S in Seaside. I haven't been to it, and I think I know where it is, but my voice isn't normally this deep. I've been sick for like 10 days, but it's kind of weirding me out how I sound very like mannish. But yeah, or I could just do nothing and not complain. Be like, oh yeah, you guys sort of halfway put on that little trial and tried to keep it sort of professional. And then when I tried to correct my joke to Officer Carrera, it was like being awarded for being the good student when it's cooler to be the bad student or something. And then he's all like, why are you picking on me for showing a normal courtroom decorum? And then I think Stockton actually got my sense of humor, because he's just kind of laughing like, that's hilarious that you're basically trying to point out the fact that the court thing was uncivilized and rude and rowdy. So I guess that's my main point. It was totally stressful. I hope she has a good time in jail, a good time appealing things, and then they want to keep piling on more and more charges. She got a reckless driving. Maybe that one could be legitimate. But where the hell is Craig Hopp's reckless driving? Oh, he doesn't get a reckless driving because he's a superintendent? The man broke some legs, yo. And basically, I'm not good at being patient, but I just have to patiently wait for 12 months for the Carol Epling case to come to fruition. I was trying to look up on the U.S. District Courthouse docket, which is just done a whole different way. And I guess I've looked at it before, but it makes me just want to call them and be like, when's the Jewel case? Or what's the easiest and best way to figure it out? But basically a little, I don't know if it's called, are we a micropolitan? Does anybody know that word? I found that on Wiki the other night. But this tiny little community in Clatsop County had a really bad sex pest. What was his name? David Brandon, something like that. But That is in a federal courthouse where it belongs, not around this little crook show down here in Clatsop County. Oh no, they're taking it to, and it just makes me want to move to a real city and go to like a real courthouse. I would miss everybody like a ton, but like the lack of seriousness felt like you were wasting people's time. It felt like it could even come up in appeal. I don't know. And I don't know if she noticed it as badly as I did based on where we were sitting. But thanks for popping into the live stream about courtroom demeanor. Whether the lack of it was the lack of courtroom demeanor a sign of life and uprising amongst the prosecutor's office largely, which they were trying to rope in security, and they were also trying to rope in the police. And I see the prosecutors as the agent provocateurs of the courtroom disorder, the disorderly conduct in the courtroom, as they attempted to have the whistleblower prosecution on behalf of the judge's wife, who's on the school board with the guy who smashed the woman's legs and is being sued for $7.9 million. I want to make sure I feel like there should be like a notice to every single student or family of a student to know that that happened. And I think there is something strange about Astoria School District not liking accountability, not liking First Amendment rights, not liking anyone who makes a complaint about safety violations. And I think they could have gone about this a whole different way. But what did I learn? Most important things that I learned from this whole case is that anytime you call Astoria PD, everything you're dealing with is being recorded. If you get a call from a cop, it might be recorded on body cam. So think about that. And so another way to look at this is like monopoly of technology. If the state always gets to record anything, and if a citizen records it, then they want to say that's a crime. Monopoly of technology is essentially like a form of abuse. And the state treats the citizens like they don't have a right to technology ever. It reminds me of the days when it was illegal to read or write because it might lead to subversion among peoples that were being like oppressed or colonized or whatever. Which we are being oppressed and colonized. So chief of police showed up. He was plain clothes. I think he looks nice plain clothes. I think he looks more like a guy at Costco. He looks like a normal guy. And he has a very decorum type of persona. And I was like, oh my God, I could just easily like write an email to chief. Like, but it really wasn't the police that were so much the problem. It really was, shall I name names? Shall I name names? No, because some of them I don't know their names. Some of them I think were paralegals, office personnel, people whose faces I've seen. A couple of them were more present for the first day one and day two, but a few of the heavy participants in watching the case, and like, actually, I had good reason to. Anyway, well, we all have a bad day, and it makes me think very carefully about, like, for instance, I've been in a courtroom proceeding where the person next to me wants to talk in my ear, and I will visibly go like, shh, and I will plug my ear so then they can't do that, like yammering in my ear, or do like some kind of gesture, or like stop it. And for instance, I think I saw one moment where someone's trying to engage Brawley, and he wouldn't engage. He just did his biggest like quiet cop thing. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, you're getting it. You know where we are. And why were those people so entitled to be so yammery, chitter chattery? Maybe because when another way to look at it is nervous. They're nervous about where this is all heading, because if they get their little one win and think they can move full speed ahead on this little lady they're coming after, they still don't know what's coming in terms of accountability for corruption and such. And the pointing, the style, this like, and this lady, blah, 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 this lady, rah. Oh my gosh, I was not my cup of tea. I would have, objection, Your Honor, could you ask him to stop pointing at me? Like, it was just very like, it would constitute an aggressive tone to me, and I was not into that. And the standing over when you're a taller person, don't use your size in a demonstrative way to the lack of a subpoena and warrant, the lack of the Facebook preservation request, the fact that this is a prosecution of a Facebook post. Oh my God. Ghost of Aaron Swartz in the room. Word. Like, I literally felt horrible afterwards, and I think this case has given me a lot of anxiety for a long time. And accepting the benefits of this beautiful county, while accepting its deficits is a compromise one doesn't know if one could keep making forever, right?